Sometimes, just 1 second is enough to change everything. 1 second of eye contact, 1 second of a touched heart, and 1 second that made someone realize they could no longer wait. That day was supposed to be ordinary. Just another event. A stage, flashing lights, cheering fans, cameras recording from every angle. But no one truly knew what was happening behind the spotlight. As Wang Yibo stood center stage, performing the final dance in their special segment, something felt different. His movements were calm, yet filled with restrained emotion. He wasn't just dancing, he was speaking without words. And at the side of the stage, Xiao Zhan stood frozen. He watched him, not as a spectator, not as a colleague, but as someone who had silently kept a feeling buried deep inside. And when their eyes finally met at the end of the performance, time stood still. No sound, no applause, just a long silence, filled with meaning only the two of them could understand. But just seconds later, Xiao Zhan turned around and left. Without a word, without a glance back, he simply walked away, leaving Wang Yibo standing alone, unmoving, in the middle of the stage. Yibo hurried off stage. Staff members greeted him, congratulated him, but he didn't respond. There was something more important than all the applause that night. Xiao Zhan, Wang Yibo knew. He couldn't let this moment slip by. Not this time. Not when his heart had become too full of words left unsaid. He ran down the studio hallway, past crew members and dimming lights. Cold air touched his skin, but he didn't care. His steps quickened, breath growing shallow, heart pounding louder than ever. Not from exhaustion, but from fear. The fear of losing someone he had loved in silence for too long. From afar, Yibo spotted him. The figure who had been by his side through every stage of his career. A friend, a co-star, and something more, something he never dared to name. He stopped, staring at that familiar back. Then he walked forward. With a voice trembling just slightly, he said, "Zhanji, I can't stay silent anymore." Xiao Zhan slowly turned, his face calm, but his eyes held something impossible to hide. Yibo swallowed hard. There was no turning back now. "I care for you, not just as a colleague, not just as a friend, but something more, and I've kept it hidden for far too long." A confession, the end of a long wait, the beginning of something unknown. Xiao Zhan didn't answer right away, but in the corner of his eye, a single tear slowly fell. Was it sadness? Surprise? Or happiness? In a voice barely above a whisper, he finally asked, "Then why were you silent all this time?" Yibo looked down, his gaze heavy. "Because I was scared. Scared things would change. Scared to lose you, even before I ever had you." And that was the truth. Sometimes, fear can be stronger than love itself. But today, he chose to face that fear. Because there is something even more terrifying than rejection. Losing someone without ever fighting for them. They had been through so much together. From the drama that skyrocketed their names, to the rumors that tested their bond, to the distance that sometimes formed but always closed. And now, everything led to one night, one sentence, and a truth finally spoken. "I always knew, Yibo. From the way you looked at me, from the way you quietly protected me. I was just waiting for the day you'd be brave enough to admit it." There was no dramatic hug, no kiss like in a drama, just two people who finally understood each other. And that night, in the quiet studio as the world moved on, one heart finally found its answer. It didn't take long before fans began to speculate. Backstage footage started spreading. Some crew members accidentally caught Yibo running off. Blurry photos, 5-second clips, even audio recordings emerged online. And fans began asking, was it real? Why did Yibo look so panicked that night? Did they finally tell the truth to each other? The media picked it up. Articles exploded, but there was no official statement, no confirmation. And as always in their world, silence can speak louder than words. We may never know the full story. We might only catch glimpses of the lives they live behind the scenes. But from that one moment, we could feel something real. Love doesn't always come with loud declarations. Sometimes it comes in silence, in hurried footsteps, in ragged breaths, chasing after someone you can't afford to lose, and in words finally spoken after being buried for so long. I care for you, and I can't keep it to myself anymore. Sometimes someone runs, not because they're chasing, but because they're too afraid of losing. Was this the end of their story? Or just the beginning of something more beautiful?